Well, hello, and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and ITY TV interview. Today I'm joined by Ryan Cantor. He is the Chief Product Officer at Thryv. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here, especially from New York. It's evening over there, morning where I am. But Ryan, no doubt, like many others watching, I've seen the Thryv ads on TV with a little Thryv orange mascot telling people who can help them with a range of business tasks right now. Like Hi Thryv, stuff like that. And obviously, software as a service has blossomed and matured into the way that business is done in the modern world. So, can you please remind us of the products, the services, the features, and benefits that Thryv offers?
Oh, sure thing. Absolutely. And we love Thryv Guy. He's great. So Thryv is an end-to-end client experience platform built for growing small businesses, specifically service-based businesses, uh, and really helping them automate and provide top-level customer experiences in a world that is only getting faster and easier every year. Consumers have been trained to enjoy convenience, and Thryv platform provides those conveniences to a small business owner while automating their daily tasks and saving them time and energy.
Now, Thryv is well established in the US, but it is relatively new to Australians. We've only just seen the ads over the past few months. But that said, Thryv has purchased Sensis, which I guess a lot of people wouldn't know, which Australians have known for years as the publishers of the Yellow Pages. So, can you please tell us about that move into Australia and having bought Sensis and whether you're involved at all with the Yellow Pages here?
Absolutely. So, the US and Australia obviously are deeply interconnected countries who share very similar cultures and values and beliefs. And our success in the US, naturally we wanted to expand those into an international markets. And Census is actually a very similar story to Thryv in the US. Thryv in the US is predominant Yellow Pages publisher in the US. So the company is, more than over 100 years old and has been providing goods and services as a total company to more than 400,000 small businesses. And so when we saw the opportunity and we met with the Sensis management team, we realized that our visions were aligned for our two companies, and that in addition to providing world-class marketing services and support, that there were plenty of new challenges that small businesses were facing. And rather than Sensis recreate the wheel of what we've already built and accomplished over here in the U.S., we felt it was a kind of a perfect match for us to join forces, and it was a way for us to enter the Australian market and really bring the Thryv solution to the 100,000 small businesses that Sensis has a great relationship with already.
So, you're still publishing the Yellow Pages in Australia?
We are, absolutely. We publish the Yellow Pages in Australia. We publish them in the U.S. There's a Mark Twain quote, I believe, that says, "The rumors of my death have been, vastly overstated." The Yellow Pages are alive and well and producing excellent results for our small business customers. There are still millions and millions of references worldwide using both the printed and internet Yellow Pages products. And when people go to those products, they're ready to buy, right? They're not, looking at cat memes and social media and being interrupted with ads, and you're not keywording and roundabouting ways to get traffic. When people, open up the book and look for a plumber or look for a roofer, it's because they need a plumber or they need a roofer, right? They're cash in hand, ready to buy it. So for that reason, it still delivers absolute excellent value for money.
Everyone knows the little, let your fingers do the walking. Are we going to see that
Yeah.
mascot with the Thryv mascot? Are they going to become friends? And we're going to see the Thryv guy in the Yellow Pages.
Yeah, we have, we have experimented putting the Thryv Guide in the Yellow Pages. Obviously, it's a great way to promote the platform and everything that we offer to small businesses. So for sure, we definitely use our own properties to promote our product for sure.
Yeah. Now, Ryan, we're also here today because you're exclusively launching via this video interview and accompanying article a new payment platform called ThryvPay. So, how will this new platform solve cost efficiency pain points for businesses in Australia, and I guess how it's doing it in other parts of the world?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, in October of 2020, we launched ThryvPay in the US. And prior to that, the Thryv platform had already integrated with a number of leading, payment providers, allowing small businesses to bring over maybe a payment solution they had already signed up for.
Mm.
And that was our original entry into the payment space. But despite big brand name, payment processors that Thryv had integrated with, our small business clients wanted more. There was missing functionality. And when you step back, you realize that the service segment of small businesses is pretty unique. Small number of number of transactions and high average ticket, right? And you find that a lot of payment processors are really designed for volume. They're designed for people who are selling cups of coffee or cafes. Nothing wrong with those businesses. Those are wonderful businesses, but that's not really, the ideal client profile for Thryv. We really help service-based small businesses. And so people who are selling high ticket items are really just, they're more sensitive to fees, right? I mean, 3% of a $10,000 job is a significant amount of money. And so they're reluctant to adopt digital payment solutions. And for those reasons, they were still using, offline payment methods, cash, bank check, things of that nature. And so obviously in October 2020, we were in the middle of a global pandemic at that point. And, cashless payments and contactless payments were essential. And yet still small businesses were struggling. And so we created ThryvPay, where we bring credit card processing and ACH, but then we built in a variety of tools that allows a small business to really take control. And we did that because we know small businesses. So for example, in talking to our clients, they would say, well, if it's below a certain dollar amount, I really don't care how they pay. But man, if it's above that dollar amount, I really only want them to be paying via bank draft. So we just built that into the platform. Prior to that, it was something that, individual employees had to remember. Oh, I forgot, I'm not supposed to accept credit card, right? And it was like this, an ongoing hassle that small businesses had to struggle with. And we just built that into the platform. So now it's a setting. The owner of the business can simply say, if it's more than $1,000, I only want them to be able to pay via bank draft. And if it's less, they can pay via credit card. And then they don't have to worry about it. If I send you a text link or an invoice and you go to pay it, the rules kick in, right? And it drives behavior the way we want to. We also found things like, occasionally, businesses would charge you a fee. So if you want to pay me via credit card, no problem, but I'm going to charge you a little bit of a fee to do that, to help offset their costs. So again, we built that into the platform for small business owners. And it's really a win-win. If they charge a fee and people still want the convenience of paying with a credit card, then the business owner is offsetting their cost with, a nominal fee to do that. But what we've also seen is psychologically, it does drive consumers then to pay via a more affordable bank draft feature, right? And so it's still a win for the business owner because we max out those fees in the US at $9, right? So it's 1% up to $9, and it'll be a very similar price point in Australia as well. So those are just a couple of examples, but it really allows a small business owner to kind of take control of how they're processing payments while still offering convenience. And in one transaction, it can pay for the entire month subscription for our entire platform in savings alone. So we've seen a lot of success with the platform so far.
And for people to sign up to ThryvPay, they'll just do it through the app?
Yeah, you just, once you subscribe to Thryv, again, the number, when you go into the payment section and settings, you just say, oh, I want to try ThryvPay. We compare and contrast. Again, Thryv is an open shop. We integrate with a number of payment providers. So, each business, we feel like, small business owners have the right of choice. And so we are an open shop. A lot of competing platforms force you to use theirs. We have no plans to do that. We like giving small businesses the freedom of choice and option so they can make the right decision for their unique business. But ThryvPay is right there. You can kind of compare and contrast. You can sign up for ThryvPay in a few clicks, instant approval, and you're charging within minutes using ThryvPay.
Now, Thryv's been in Australia for the past few months. We've seen the ads, as we discussed earlier. So how has the growth been thus far in Australia? And are there any customer success stories that you can share and the efficiencies that they're now enjoying?
Yeah, so the growth has been absolutely tremendous, Alex. I mean, we are so inspired, not just with sales, but adoption, engagement numbers, people who are buying and instantly putting the platform to use to really help their businesses grow and be successful. One such story, I did want to kind of come prepared with one. Sure. We have a customer, his name is Adam Duffy. He runs the Pet Nanny. It's an established business. It's been around for about 25 years. This owner took it over from the original owners about 10 years ago. He's done, a number of interviews and things of that nature, but he bought Thryv in August of last year. Not the full month, but it gives you a sense of how long they've been in the platform. They're using the platform every single day to run their day-to-day business. In September of this year, they were averaging 10 calendar appointments. By December, they had improved that by 15x to over 227 appointments between November and December. That's a 22 times improvement just between September and the end of the year. Communications has seen 15x improvements. So the number of conversations they're having with their customers just from August to December by making it more convenient, making it easy, and centralizing it in all one place has been great. On average, he's now adding 50 new clients a month into his business, which is tremendous, and we're happy to see that. His invoices and his volume of payments has increased 10x in 4 months. And he's now starting to staff up and increase his productivity. And he believes that Thryv and the platform has halved the amount of time he has spent on back-end work and processes. And for him, that means more time doing revenue generating activities, right? So making sales, making revenue, and less time doing all the kind of necessary but probably unfun things about running a small business. So that's just one example. We have a couple other examples. We have a customer in Australia. His name is Tariq Hassan, who's just a delightful business owner who does window tinting. So a lot of skylights and things of that in people's homes, and is tinting them to protect against UV rays. What he really loves about the platform is that we offer unlimited 24/7 support. He likes to test it, right? So he's like, oftentimes I'm running my business during the day, but Thryv does so many things that I'm learning about new features and functionality after hours. He's very tech comfortable, and so he's exploring the platform. But every once in a while, he'll get a little stuck, and so he opens up the chat or he makes a phone call to our 24/7 tech support at 10 p.m. on a Friday, and without wait. Without a drop, we answer, screen share with him, show him how to do it, and off to the races he is. And it's become a little bit of a game for him, he says. He really likes that level of comfort and support. And, you mentioned the Thryv guy. The Thryv guy was very, very purposeful because it really is that helping that guide. And we think, that is one of our key differentiators. There's plenty of people who can sell you software, and, I hope it all works well for you. Yeah. We sell you software, and we are equally, if not more, committed to your success and your onboarding and your use of it than we are selling it to you. We really want it to help you improve your quality of life and get you back to your passion.
I was just thinking as you were telling me about the Pet Nanny, that famous cartoon that nobody knows that you're a dog on the internet. So if Pet Nanny merged with Net Nanny, he could have internet security software for dogs. He could quadruple his business.
Absolutely. We might be onto something there, Alex.
And also with Thryv and all the features, I mean, one of the things that I've often noticed with people is that they just don't know about all the features of their smartphones or Microsoft Word or Windows or Mac OS. Even Albert Einstein famously said that people only use 10% of their brain power. So that just made me think, as you were telling me about Tariq and his adventures into learning about more of the features. I mean, is there sort of a whole bunch of videos, tutorials? I mean, obviously he's taking advantage of live tutorials directly by talking to the chat people, but I mean, is there a little Thryv Guy TV show where he's taking you through all the different things you can do on Thryv for that discovery, and so people can get the most out of what they're paying for?
Absolutely, sir. So first of all, learn.thryv.com is live. It's front facing. You don't have to be a subscriber, which is great because you can kind of get a sense for the wealth of information and helpful guides that are on there. But additionally, we have in-app contextual help as well. So depending on, sometimes if I knew what help I was looking for, I wouldn't need help, right? That's kind of a common pitfall that a lot of software fall down. They show you a great place to navigate and search. And you're like, if I knew what I was searching for, I would probably not need the help. So what we really do is we take that out, and based on the screen or the action that you're trying to do in app, we show you a list of abbreviated help articles that are relevant to the place you are in the software. So if you can kind of navigate to a point where you're stuck, that's one way that we help. And these are interactive guides. Some people like to read, some people like to watch videos. We offer both. And you touch on an interesting point that I think is worth mentioning. We really focus on solving one pain point for a customer when we talk to them about the solution. It will solve many. But to not overwhelm and to not boil the ocean, we let them know, it's a robust platform that you get to grow into. And so we are really keenly focused on meeting our small business customers where they are today, wherever they are. And they're all at different levels of adoption of either a point solution. Some people are still running their business on a spreadsheet or emails. And we just meet them where they are and let them adopt the platform at their own digital comfort, right? Each person adopts technology in their own way. And we're just a helping hand along the way to do that. So every Thryv includes, virtually unlimited onboarding. Some people do it in one session. Some people do it in a couple sessions, right? And sometimes people want them back to back, or some people want a little space between them. We customize those plans for every business owner just to make sure, again, that we're equally committed to their success throughout the entire journey.
And I was also interested to hear you talk about how you were doing the screen sharing with Tariq. I mean, I'm often helping people with computer problems, and sometimes, I get stumped by something, and it's like, okay, well, let's call the tech support people. And I've said to them in the past, why can't you just team viewer in, or Indesk in, so you can see what it is that I'm trying to tell you about, instead of you guys going through a checklist of stuff that I've done 10 times to if you could just screen sharing. So if you're doing that, that's really progressive and modern, and I'm very happy to hear it.
Yeah. No, we do it. And listen, it also eliminates we obviously do it with your permission,
Yeah,
right? Because it's your
obviously.
CRM, it's your data. But some people, if they don't feel comfortable, okay, we'll share our screen and we'll show you,
Yeah.
Kind of I guess a perfect scenario, right? But it also helps us because maybe there's something wrong with your browser or your internet, or there's a conflict in some place, or maybe there is some sort of issue in your account, and it can be very, very frustrating if we're just reading a canned script to you.
Yeah.
Whereas what we really owe you is the ability to get in and solve your problem, and that's what tech support's supposed to do.
Now, as as I mentioned at the very beginning, I mean, today's software as a service methodology. I mean, I first heard about that in the year 2000, SaaS. And today, 22 years later, I mean, it is very mature. It is very sophisticated. People talk about digital transformation. Of course, with COVID, we've had accelerated digital transformation like never before. So, what else can you tell us about Thryv's cloud transformation strategy?
Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of draws parallels to the struggles of our clients, right? We are a legacy business. We've been around for over 100 years. And so we were, making products before computers existed. And so that adoption of technology has been, central to everything this company's had to do for the last 20 or 30 years. And it never stops. So moving from on-prem servers to cloud-based servers, and modern architecture, and starting to use middleware and other, forms and fashions that will really hybrid, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure every buzzword you want to throw, we've done. But again, the goal really is creating a cost-effective, scalable platform as we move forward, and doing it in a responsible fashion. So, now we're a global company that presents challenges and opportunities for us as well. And it's really, really very exciting that we have, members of our Thryv Australia team helping us with some of the challenges we have going on in Thryv US, because they have expertise and they particularly already solved some of those problems ahead of us. And so now we're able to have a shared learning as well. And I think, they find great value in that because they're making a bigger impact than maybe they originally planned, and vice versa. So I think it's just a great sharing of information. And, one of the announcements we also made today was, everything that we've called Thryv today is in the near term going to be rebranded Business Center. And we now have a plan to launch multiple centers. And what we did announce today is that the newest center, it's currently in beta with a number of customers, is called Marketing Center. And it'll be a whole nother suite of solutions and helpful guides that will help a small business effectively digitally market their business by knowing what works and what doesn't, using consented attribution from all the things that CRM is already doing. So Alex, it'll match your CRM contact with their devices. And so I can actually tell you where that person actually found your business. So, everyone always likes to think about things like marketing are always the happy path, right? I saw an ad, I clicked on it, I immediately filled out a form, attribution's great, everything flows through. I think we know that never happens that way. There's a phone call in the middle. I backclick, I search you on Google, I find your reviews, then I call. And small businesses are really at a disadvantage because they don't know what's working and what's not. And so really, it's a non-level playing field in the marketplace. Big companies have all these tools, small companies don't. And so our Marketing Center product that we announced, and really the center transformation that we're doing even on the entire platform, is meant to level that playing field.
So Business Center and Marketing Center are going to be new elements inside of Thryv. Thryv is still staying as the business name.
Yeah, so Thryv, the company Thryv, we were kind of a one product Thryv with a good, better, best. So, the CRM and client experience platform will be renamed Business Center. Now we'll add a Marketing Center, and over the coming years, we'll add additional centers that solve additional pain points that small businesses are facing, and they just interconnect and are interoperable with each other to make it an easy small business operating platform. So we should be expanding and supporting our small businesses as they expand. And, we're all transforming. We're all adopting new technologies.
Now, as you explained, Thryv has been around for 100 years, but obviously the wasn't called Thryv way back then. So what did the business start with? When did it become Thryv? And what was the? Did the US Yellow Pages business merge with some company called Thryv? I mean, obviously the pain points of Yellow Pages was to provide the directory for everyone to be able to find things. But what was the thinking behind moving everything into Thryv? I mean, I guess the answer is obvious, but tell us a little bit about the transition to Thryv in the US.
Yeah, I sure will. So when you think about our history, the family tree wouldn't actually fit. The list of companies and names would not fit on a computer screen. You have to kind of zoom out. It's really, really small.
Yeah.
But it's all the way back to kind of Ma Bell. I mean, the Bells before they were broken up. The phone book company, the phone company had phone books as part of the phone companies, and as part of those evolutions, the phone book became a spin-off and pulled out from those companies, and they were individual and broken apart. And in 2017, this company was known as Dex Media. That was a combination of Dex One and Super Media. That was kind of two companies coming together. It was Dex Media. Dex Media bought a company called YP Holdings. So one was the former AT&T side, one was the former Verizon side. And so we kind of brought the Bells back together in 2017 and became a national footprint in the US. And for about 1 second, we called ourselves Dex YP, probably the least inventive company name you could ever come up with. But it was just to help people understand what had just happened. We had brought these two big companies together, and all the while in the background, we launched our software platform in late 2015, and we were getting product market fit and starting to get adoption. Around 2018, we renamed the product Thryv, and then shortly thereafter, this clearly became, this is what our future was going to be. And so at that point, we rebranded the entire company Thryv to match our forward-looking focus.
Now, in Australia, we just had a federal budget last week as we were recording this. We're going to have a federal election very soon. And, our federal treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, spoke of temporary tax deductions for small to medium businesses to spend on investment of digital solutions like cloud-based software. So I'm guessing this means that businesses adopting Thryv can take advantage of this tax deduction.
Yeah, it's a great question. So my legal department wanted to make me very clear that I am not providing tax advice or tax guidance, and you should, or any small business out there should seek professional guidance from an Australian tax professional. Having said that, we are obviously extremely pleased with this policy, and we do feel very comfortable that Thryv's robust end-to-end software platform, our ability that we're building digital invoicing, and that many of our Thryv packages also include a professionally designed, fully integrated website, fits the bill of the spirit of the regulations that were passed in Australia. So we're really excited about that opportunity, and we think it's an excellent thing to help small businesses kind of overcome that hurdle and make it a little bit more incentive for them to modernize and improve their customers' experience.
And look, in an age of cyber war and endless hack attacks, and we hear about password breaches, what's a little bit about Thryv's security? Because you do look after a lot of people's data and websites, and I guess people would want to know.
Absolutely. We take security very, very seriously. It's at the core of what we do. Obviously, we're a CRM, and to your point, we are only as good as our ability to kind of maintain and organize data. And so 128-bit at-rest encryption, third-party penetration tests routinely, trying to do that. We have secure SSL certificates. In the US, we went through a rigorous third-party validation. In the US, we have HIPAA compliance laws for medical. It's an extremely stringent level of not only data protection on the server side, but data access from the employee side. So obviously part of data security is also ensuring proper access controls for employees, people who have left the company, things don't accidentally stay on computers in coffee shops, things of those natures where it's always the unintended consequences. And so all of those are strictly monitored. Multi-factor authentication, things of that nature are all employed. Restricted access is what we brought to Australia, so people could pay a little bit more. And really, there's only a core group of individuals at the company who can even have access to your CRM. And only, again, with your consent and approval to support you. So, again, we take it very, very seriously.
Yeah, I often hear companies say when they get hacked, it's like, oh, we've taken additional security measures. And I sort of think, well, why couldn't you take those before you got before you got hacked. But it's the bad guys are very inventive, and I mean it's good. I'm sure companies are like reeling at the amount of things they have to do to stay secure, but that's just the modern cost of doing business. So I'm
Yeah,
glad to hear you're doing that.
yeah, no, it is, and at the risk of maybe being a little over transparent, we take data extremely seriously. I'm sure, like many companies, over our span as we've grown in popularity, there are denial of service attacks and things like that attempt to get in, and as a precaution, we'd be we're more apt to take the platform down for a few minutes to ensure it's stable, that we can do any changeovers we need to do and fail gracefully, than ever put anyone's data in harm's way. And so, we make those tough trade-off decisions. We don't want to do either, but sometimes, again, that's what's in the best interest. And if we have to make that trade-off, it is to protect the integrity of our customers' data at all costs.
Now, Ryan, I always like to ask about the future, and how do you see Thryv evolving over the next few years? I mean, are you already thinking about how Thryv could operate in a world of augmented reality glasses and everyone being plugged into the metaverse?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Ready Player One, but that wasn't exactly the type of world I wanted to live in. So when I heard about the metaverse, I kind of cringed a little bit. Um, we're not pounding on the door to move Thryv into the metaverse. I think there's most of our service-based small businesses really relying on physical, in-person, quantitative services and support. So that's not exactly the direction we're headed right now. But obviously we'll monitor those trends, and as goes the market, so goes Thryv. So we'll be paying close attention. But I think we have really spent a lot of time and energy helping small businesses adopt and modernize, and we're seeing record levels of engagement. And I shared just some of the results of one customer with you, and it's really inspiring. It makes the entire team here feel like we're on a real mission, right? We're not here to make a big conglomerate CEO kind of all the more wealthy. We're helping small business owners feed their family, spend more time with their family, returning more time to their passion of why they got in. And those are really noble things that we really take a lot of pride in. And so I think it's that goodwill and that connection with our clients is really what's kind of drove us to go into the multiple center strategy. They basically said, I want more. Could you do this? Because it's not that some of the things we're going to do aren't out there on the market, but they want our level of service, and they want it to interconnect with the platform that they've selected with Thryv. And so I think that's really going to be our focus is helping small businesses modernize across their business, and growing with them.
Yeah, I mean, your customers are your best R&D department. I often ask businesses, what are some of the great ideas that customers have said, implement this for me and I'll be happy. And I'm sure there must be many examples. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I've just thought of
no,
it.
No, they are. In February of 2021, we launched what we called kind of our advanced CRM. I will tell you, none of our single customers said, I want an advanced CRM that did X, Y, and Z. That's not unfortunately how it comes in.
Yeah.
And sometimes you improve the product and solve kind of one problem at a time. This one, we have an in-app experience where people can ask for features and vote on them. We actually, Alex, we turn them into little product managers, because if you vote on multiple things, you say, everyone can say, I want, right? Anyone who's seen Willy Wonka, I think, the girl wants the golden goose is I want it now. Small business owners, users, just want everything. I totally accept that. But what they do is they ask for features and then they vote on them. And then it actually forces you to stack rank them in terms of priority, which ones are the most important to you. And all of that data goes right back to my product team for real-time, prioritization. And this is really what's driving our this or that. Like all small businesses, we have finite resources, and therefore it's really prioritization is king. And so our advanced CRM release was really knocking out, I think, about 19 feature requests in one release. And it was just our ability to kind of connect those dots together and realize they're dancing around the real problem. Let's go solve the problem, and it'll solve all these little ancillary pain points that users have. And that's really what we're supposed to do as a company. So that's just one example. And we take that feedback every day and get better.
Now, I just want to finish on a couple of questions before my grand last question. But my third last question is, what's a little bit about your own history in the world of tech?
Yeah, so I, interestingly, I'm a business executive who's worked, I originally started in retail, hands-on, and a variety of things that I shared with you privately before we started the interview that I was fortunate enough to work at Apple during the iPhone launch, the iPad launch, the Apple 3G launch. I was there when Apple started running Windows with Boot Camp, and we made I cut my teeth on helping people who had predominantly only ever used PC computers switch to Mac, and it was really an interesting experience because they would come in, and my first question always was, what do you currently do with your computer? And at that point they were still spending a couple grand on a Dell or a Compaq or something that was available at the time, and they would be like, well, I check email, and I upload my photos, and I surf the web. And I'm like, wow, that's really okay. And do you do anything else? And they're like, well, what else does it do, right?
Let me show
bring
you.
them over to the Mac, and yeah, we bring them over to the Mac, and we take some photos and make a photo book and talk about how they could share guests and make it auto a little video. And we would show them at the time, it wasn't called FaceTime back then, but we'd show them how you could, interconnect with the camera and built right into the computer. And they just had these, wow moments. And what it really taught me is tech can change people's lives. There's a right way to do it. And it's really adding the human component to technology that is really where the success lives. And I kind of fell in love with that. And as I continued my career professionally, I basically became a database engineer myself, because I all too often found that if I had to be overly reliant on IT or other, kind of data science people to get access to my analytics, my reporting, and my data as a business owner or as a business leader, it was putting me at a disadvantage to run a successful business. So I taught myself how to do it. And that's really proved really, really useful, because in this day and age, every software application is just data with a pretty fun end, right? I mean, when you press the button, it's moving data from one place to another. That's what it does every time. So it really allows you to have a certain level of discipline, and it makes me a really good product leader. And I oversee the engineering team as well, which is really helpful. So the engineering team and product team are forced to collaborate, and it gives me a great deal of respect for both parties, because we have a product team who lives in the world of reality, and we have an engineering team who isn't going off on wild goose chases. So it's a really productive use of everyone's time.
And actually, this is my real third last question. What is a memory you can share of your first computer?
Well, I can tell you right now, it was, I'm not sure I remember the manufacturer, but it was a 286 suitcase. So it had the flip down keyboard, and the thing, I don't know, I think weighed 100 pounds. And I remember it because my dad worked on Wall Street, and we lived in Westchester, New York, which is about a 45-minute train ride outside of New York City. And he was allowed to bring it home on weekends from the office. And so he lugged this thing on a train. I mean, I think it would crush you if you put it on your lap, right? And he'd bring it home, and he'd top it on the kitchen table, and had 2 5.25 floppy drives that any application you wanted to run had, I don't know, 20 disks. And at any given point, you're swapping out a disk for the next version of the disk or whatever. I think it was a green and black screen. Different shades of green were our colors of the day, and that was my first computer. It was great.
And my second last question is, what is some of the best advice you've received in life to help you get where you are today?
Yeah, I would say care about people. Making money is the byproduct of helping people. We firmly believe that here at Thryv, and I believe that personally. And whether that's helping your employees, your team, your staff, your customers, that's your success in life. Rewards will come, but focus on helping people. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And I think those are words to live by, and I do my best every day to try to do that.
So Ryan, what is your final message to ITY viewers and readers, and to Thryv's current and future customers and partners?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, shameless plug. Check out, thryv.com.au and see what Thryv has to offer. I think, a demo for Thryv is going to be the best 30 minutes of your life. It'll either be a fit for your business, or you'll walk away a little bit more educated and a little bit more informed. And, there's nothing bad that comes from that. So I would encourage everyone to give us a try. And, again, we don't just win on the functionality and the platform. We win on the support and the caring that we put into helping you adopt it and improve your business. And I think that goes a long, long way. So, we would appreciate partnering with anyone who's interested in modernizing their business.
Well, Ryan Cantor, Chief Product Officer at Thryv, thank you very much for your time. I can see your business is thriving. That was obviously the whole idea behind the name. And I hope we can talk again in the future.
Thanks so much, Alex.
Thank you. Bye-bye.